Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome to your weekly general tarot with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, these readings are for everyone. They're for the general energies, trends, and themes that we're likely to experience over the course of the week ahead. And with that said, remember they are for everybody. Sometimes it's microcosmic, sometimes it's macrocosmic, and also all of this is always informed by my intuitive message. So before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity, and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise. They help us all on our path to our highest vibrational good. So, this week's intuitive message was the future starts now. So what I actually saw when I went into my intuition this week was a plane, but it was like this super ultra like futuristic plane. And so what I took that to mean is the plane as a symbol. One of the other messages for this for me, it actually represents outsourcing. So for those of you, whoever that message is for, maybe there's something that you need to outsource this week. If you want to go to that next level in your work, your business, your health, your fitness, whatever the case might be, this week you are being encouraged to outsource in some way. But the future starts now, and maybe this is a big part of what it's about, right? On the wider world stage, I do wonder if this is some form of technological advancement that happens when it comes to technology, travel technology in particular. So the future begins now. Now, the other thing that comes up with this, what's really interesting about this card, it represents, so you see the sand castle inside the you see the castle inside the snow globe. The castle in this card, it actually represents your highest ideal, the thing that you are really striving for, that you really say you want or desire on that sort of soul level. And the message behind this card of assimilate is that you have to assimilate the energy of what it is that you desire into your present or your current experience, right? So very much about how we do manifesting. What I find really interesting about this is the future is now. So this week we are being encouraged to start doing or living the way that we want to when we have or when we are kind of aligned with the thing that we desire. The future is calling in some way, shape, or form. That much is evident here. And when I see this kind of like this, it does make me think, yeah, like this week there's going to be some kind of development that forces us all in some way, shape, or form to level up, right? The other thing is as well, there's new energy, new ideas, new information that are coming in this week that we are going to have to assimilate, that we're just going to have to find a way to get sort of acquainted and connected with. We're going to have to find a way to bring it into our lives regardless of what happens. So it will be interesting to see how this shapes up for everybody. All right, now for our direction cards, how do we best use this energy? We've got the Five of Wands. Well, possibly not on your own. You got this with the Two of Swords, okay, and with the Page of Cups. So this, I think, is about clarity and honesty, and one of the best ways to tap into this to get really, so the Two of Swords is asking you to get really clear on what it is that you actually want. The Page of Cups is asking you to acknowledge or to honor your feelings, and the Five of Wands is to realize that maybe whatever this is, this thing that you're trying to build as your ideal, maybe you can't do it all on your own. All right, and that's not to say that you can't do it, it's just to say that it's probably going to be easier and maybe a better quality of whatever it is that you do if you get some, if you collaborate. Because the Five of Wands, although it is a conflict and a challenge card, very often too many people talking at once, it can also show up as a collaborative energy given, depending on what it's surrounded by. And given the fact that the plane, as I said to you, like it's one of the symbols for me that actually represents outsourcing, that message is kind of echoed in these direction cards. So where is it that you're trying to go it alone, but actually you would be probably better served or get more out of your experience if you were to outsource or to connect or even collaborate with others? When it comes to the wider world stage, the Five of Wands with the Two of Swords, this is about an opposition that's been taking place for some time. That Page of Cups is the call or the cry for peace or some kind of sort of forward momentum, like, right, where do we do elsewhere, where do we do something different. And that Page of Cups is speaking very loudly. I think it will be a voice that comes up out of all of this, one that maybe a lot of people don't expect to speak up, or maybe specifically from children or from young people. You know, there's going to be some kind of moment here that I think is going to make people pay a lot of attention to what's going on. But the future really does start now. And I think a big way through all of this, as I said, on a personal, microcosmic, or even macrocosmic level, is as a collective, right? As a collaborative unit, as opposed to just a single person. For our insight cards, what's the energy coming in? We've got the Knight of Cups. Solutions are being offered with the King of Swords. Okay, so new contracts and deals to be inked. And the Queen of Swords, right? So there are negotiations of all kinds taking place this week. On a personal level, I think we're puzzling it out. I have to say, so the King of Swords and the Queen of Swords are a mated pair. What this tells me is that a couple is going to feature this week. So on the wider world stage, this will be a couple, a celebrity couple, maybe a royal couple, etc. They're coming forward and they're offering some form of a solution, maybe even some kind of, what's the word that I'm looking for? Alternative as well, right? That's one way that it could show up. On a microcosmic level, on a more personal level, this is a couple that you know that will offer their assistance to you in some regard. And I actually think this could go a long way to helping you achieve some sort of personal goal, especially where your career is sort of considered, or maybe even your academic career. Now, the King of Swords is about the career. It's about your expertise and your knowledge. The Queen of Swords is really about what you're willing to fight for, but it's also about the facts and figures. And so when I see this with the Knight of Cups, it looks like a lot of you, or a lot of us, should I say, are deliberating over something that really feels like what we want to do. But again, we're realizing this is slightly bigger than I am. This is way beyond what I'm going to be able to sort of achieve on my own. And so this week, I think you set about finding like minds and souls to work with, to collaborate with, maybe even just people to, you know, do a hobby with, which I think could be really very wholesome and actually very good for us all in some regard. I like these cards. I actually like this week because it feels like there's a lot of advancement. It may only be in the talking stages as yet, right? It might not necessarily be that anything is actually signed this week or made concrete or tangible, but things are definitely moving in the right directions, and you'll see this from the conversations that are being had at this moment in time. Sorry, I don't know if you can see me jiggling. There's nothing untowards. I've actually got one of those rollerball things underneath my foot, because 3 of my toes seem to be, they're unhappy, and they're pinching in like this. So I'm trying to stretch out my foot and my toes. It's a little uncomfortable. Anyway, fun fact that you really didn't need to know, TMI. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Let me know in the comments how this shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.